So I've been asked why I haven't done any trail videos lately, thus the moniker Trail Thinker. It's because I recently had a heart attack in November, and I'm still in recovery, and I'm at the tail end of my recovery. So soon you will see some more trail videos out of this channel. Hopefully I can start to do some more videos and build it up a little bit. Um, but had to go through the whole recovery thing and the hospital stay and the procedure on the heart and all of that. But I'm still with you. God has granted me more years of life. So uh, if you're a slave of society and or I should say a zombie of society, and you do whatever society tells you to do, society tells you think this way, so you do it. Society tells you act this way, so you do it, and you're incapable of thinking independent of society or free from the slavery that society wants to put on you through peer pressure and things like that, then I don't recommend you watching my videos because they will be offensive to you, because I buck society a lot. Uh, Society is just nothing but a bunch of Adamic or Adam, the nature of Adam in his fallen nature, sinners coming up with this stuff, and they push lies all the time and false narratives, and they expect everybody to follow them. I'm not one who follows society, but if you're like me, then watch the videos. You'll enjoy them. Now we've been on a series, or I'm starting a series of a man's responsibility to God and his family. Now, the first video I did talked about the fact that the first thing that God gives to man concerning his responsibility to God and family is for him and his wife Eve, Adam and Eve, to manifest the image of God. We talked about what that image was. It had to do with the communicable attributes of God. It had to do with a number of things, his dominion over the earth and so forth. So in this one, we're going to go over something a little bit different. Now, I'm going to get this Bible up close to me because I am half blind and I couldn't find my regular glasses, so I'm going to have to use these thick store-bought things. And I'll read this the best I can. We're going to go Genesis chapter 2, verses 7 through 15. I'll read it as quickly as I can to get through this video quickly. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and there thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first was Pison, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon, the same as it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, and that is it which goes toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden and to dress it and to keep it. So we'll talk about the second duty of man out of this particular passage I just read to you. Now I have my book, my little journal here where I writing about this subject matter, and I'm going to read it out to you. So man was created to have dominion over the entire earth, yet God also created a special place that Adam could call home. Now, Adam was tasked with the duty of dressing it and keeping it. This special place was a garden called Eden. It was a garden by God's definition, because the Hebrew word simply means garden. And so I tried to see if there was any special meaning to that word, and it wasn't. It just means garden. So what God is calling a garden is what we're seeing described in Genesis. Now, it was a garden by God's definition. We just read that. So Eden, it is believed, means land of delight. So the Hebrew scholars believe that the word Eden means the land of delight. It contained 4 rivers, jewels and gold, and abundant vegetation, fruits, trees, and animal life. It was a place of great abundance, prosperity, solitude, relationships, and fellowship with God. It was the perfect home, a special place set apart from the rest of the world for the purpose of providing Adam with a sense of belonging, purpose, and duty. Now, get this, guys. Listen very carefully, because you want fulfillment in life. If you're looking for fulfillment in life, this is how you're going to find it. You pay attention to these duties that God gave man, and you'll have fulfillment in life. Every man has a garden. It is his home. If your heart and your mind is not on your home, you're not going to have fulfillment. It consists of his dwelling place, his wife and his children. It is his place of purpose, duty, and fulfillment. This is how God set it up biblically. God told Adam to dress his home and to keep it. In other words, Adam was commanded to tend his field, guard and protect his home. Adam was tasked with providing for the good welfare of his home. For modern men, that means to provide for his home spiritually, financially, emotionally, morally, and intellectually. We're tasked with dressing our garden and keeping it. The word dress simply means labor. The word keep simply means to preserve something. God's command was that Adam labor to preserve his home. Therefore, the second duty of man is to labor to preserve his home and to tend his field. Now, that is enough to have modern day feminists and little girly men, I like that term, girly men, out in front of my house protesting with signs and throwing bottles and stuff at me when I walk out the front door. They hate that principle. Why? Because they want the destruction of the home. They don't want the preservation of the home. Guys, if you want fulfillment in this life, one of the principles you're going to have to follow to get that fulfillment, because this is how God made you to be, is you're going to have to become dedicated to your home. That means you don't go to work and come home and sit down in your lazy boy and act like a king and have your wife and kids serve you. Give them my beer. Click the TV on. No. Not like the beer commercials during the Super Bowl, okay? No, that stuff is garbage. Sorry, it's crap. Okay? You come home and you take the labor that you have done outside the home and you apply that labor to inside the home. You labor to serve your wife and your children in the home as well as outside the home. And we'll talk about outside the home here soon as well, because that principle is there as well. But right now we're talking about your labor inside the home. You get your butt home from work and you do whatever it is you have to do to get that little bit of extra energy to serve your wife and serve your kids. And with that, I could go into 3 or 4 hours of detail as to how you could do that. you start figuring that out. Because I don't have much time. I've got less than 5 minutes left on this video. You figure out, guys, you figure out how to serve your wife and your children. Get the books and read them that talk about that. Get into the scriptures which teach you, which will teach you how to do that. Read Proverbs, read Psalms, read about the patriarchs in the Old Covenant and what God told them to do. Go read Ephesians chapter 5, okay? You figure out how you're going to serve your wife and your kids, but you serve them, because that is where you're going to find your fulfillment. If your heart is not toward your home, you're out of fellowship with Christ. If you're a believer, if you're a Christian, if your heart is not towards serving your home and protecting it and tending your garden and keeping your home, you are out of fellowship with Christ. Think about it. That's the second duty of man, is to keep and preserve your home, to have your heart toward your home. I'll catch you next video.